Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Brendan Lee, and I am here with John.
Hello.
He says hi.
He does. Hey, you remember back before OnlyFans when your mom just sold Avon?
Jesus Christ.
Link in the description, folks.
Link in the description. It's feet pics. You're not going to like them. They're my feet. Hey, did you know I opened a gym where the instructors would go from door to door to tell people about the benefits of joining it?
Nope.
I named it Jehovah's Fitness.
Nice. Nice. I like it. I went to a zoo the other day. I saw a baguette in a cage. It was bred in captivity.
Holy shit. Thank you for joining.
Now on to serious matters.
On to
Serious
very
matters.
serious matters. We're gonna do a little experiment today. This was John's idea. We're going to dissect, at least we're gonna start dissecting different religious texts for the fuck of it. And today we have the Tao Te Ching. So what we're going to do is we're going to read through it, and then we're going to have a meaningful discourse about it. All right. So what is there anything else we need to tell them about what we're up to?
Well, just maybe that, there's a you like to talk about the truth as best you can.
Yeah.
And I've heard you criticize religion on occasion.
Every so often.
And yet, maybe there's something useful to be found in some of these old books. And maybe we can parse out, some nuggets of wisdom and separate that from some bullshit or some stuff that's just not
Yeah.
all that helpful.
Yeah, and I am definitely not a fan of organized religion. That's just my perspective and stance. And also, as you were talking, it occurred to me that religion, it's like somebody may have some wisdom, and then the religion is crafted around the wisdom. It seems that way. So then, like, the religion itself is like superficial to the matter of the wisdom getting. And it seems like a lot of this wisdom lives in book form, which, hey, if you want some knowledge to pass down through generation to generation, books are great. That's one thing that they can do. You can preserve language for 1,000 years on a piece of paper. That's pretty amazing. So then books are like a good way to go. And then they might create a religion about the book, So then that begs the question, well, what is religion really and what's the deal there? It's a different deal. And I was just chatting a little bit. So are we Did you
Yeah,
get
let's get
everything
to
out?
it. I
Yeah.
think we're going real light. We're going with kid gloves here because the Tao Te Ching is not one of the world's major religions. It's something that's sort of like universally read by people of many different backgrounds
Yeah.
in a way that they find enjoyable or helpful or entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah,
You know,
sweet. So we're gonna take a look and we're gonna Cheng Shin it. We're
Ching
gonna get
Shin, the Tao Te Ching. That
Cheng
sounds very,
Shin.
very Asian.
We're it's going for it. All right, let's see what happens here. The Tao, the Tao that can be told. Okay, so here's what we did. I'm sure John got on Chat GPT. True.
Yep.
Yep, and he said,
I just said print up a plain English translation of the first poem of the Tao Te Ching, and I've had a few copies of the Tao Te Ching, and it checks out. It sounds very much like those, and I've also read different translations of the Tao Te Ching, and the fact is, it's an English translation of a language that was never meant to be designed to be translated into English.
Right. So first and yeah. So go ahead. I feel like I cut you off.
That's it. So if exactly these words do not precisely match your particular copy of the Tao Te Ching, please don't sweat it.
Yeah. Or you can sweat it all you want. Just make sure you do it in the comments so we can chuckle at you for being a fool.
Yes, that would
In
be
the
cool.
comments,
Do
though.
that.
Lots of comments. And okay, so first off, right away, if we're gonna be picking this thing apart and or considering it for real, first off, you gotta notice it's a translation. That means that in the language that it was originally written, there's probably a lot that's been lost or confused right off the bat. We have no idea what they're saying because of that fact.
I wonder what ChatGPT would say about that, because ChatGPT can probably read and understand the original language.
Well, okay, ask it
And
something.
yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Maybe just with one line or something like that.
Yeah.
I can sense the people. They're like, hurry up, read the damn.
You can edit this part out or insert music here.
Oh, no. I mean, just about our commentary leading up to.
Okay. I'm going to put for the first poem, are there any common disagreements about translation from the original text? Could you clarify those points? Oops. Yes, there are several common areas of disagreement among translators regarding the first poem of the Tao Te Ching. Here are a few key points where interpretations often vary. Okay, yeah, there are several. And it's still spitting them out. And spitting and spitting and spitting.
Are there any points of disagreement or confusion? Yes, the whole thing is confused. We don't.
Wow, it's offering a lot, dude. It's offering like 2 different variations and 5 different points of contention amongst translators
On the
about
first
just
poem.
the first
Just
poem.
the first poem. Okay, good. So this gives me evidence that if we're to try to get what's really true in the Tao Te Ching already in this first poem, which is what, I don't know, 10 lines long. I'll read it out here shortly. There's already a lot of contention. There's already a lot of confusion. There's already people with differing opinions. So right away, the whole thing is less clear and more of a question. And if you'd really want to gain the wisdom of what's in there, it seems to me you'd have to stretch beyond the language because the language is in question. So we have to, like right away, to me, if we're going to be effective with this, a massive openness seems appropriate. Because to say that you know what the fuck they're talking about in the language that's given in English, to me, it seems like closing it down and there's going to be no. Then where do you go? You just take that one translation and then assume you know what they're talking about when you probably have no idea. And I'm starting with I've got no idea what the fuck they're talking about. So there's your first. Here it is. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. Okay, I'll just read it and then we can go line by line, I guess. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. This is the translation. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. The named is the mother of all things. Interesting. Therefore, free from desire, you can see the hidden mystery. With desire, you see only what is visibly real. Yet mystery and reality emerge from the same source. This source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding.
That was beautiful, Brendan.
Thank you.
Well done.
Why, thank you. Okay, so line by line. First line. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. I don't know what the fuck the Tao is. Now, what is the Tao supposed to be?
In the cliff notes here, it says the word Tao, and then it's got some Chinese characters, can be translated as way, path, or principle. And it represents the ultimate, indescribable reality or natural order.
Holy shit. Well, I got, like, there's only two things that in my mind that could be a principle or absolute reality. Because so as you read it again, you say the Tao is what? It's like
as it can be translated as way, path, or principle.
Okay, so way or path, that denotes like some kind of action going on a way somewhere, which is relative.
A via. Yeah.
Yeah, a way to get somewhere. And when you say principle, I think principle, which is again relative, even though principles are strangely, they don't exist and yet they create existence, which is odd. And then what was the thing about absolute or about?
Yeah, it represents the ultimate indescribable reality or natural order.
Okay, you see, the indescribable reality to me is like when you consider when I consider the absolute truth or what's absolutely true, you can't talk about it. Well, you can talk about it, but the language is never it. And it can't be ever in that sense. Even though I hear rumors that everything relative is also absolute, so it's a shit show. It's a crapshoot. But when what has me perk up is when it's the name that can be named is not the eternal name. I go like, yeah, it seems to me hints of the shit you can't talk about because it's what's true. And there's no language there, no space to talk about it or be in some sort of relative existence about. So then I'm like, oh yeah, you can't talk about it. Like I think I hear tell and correct me if I'm wrong, Adam, if you're out there, I think you talked to me about this. The Jewish Bible, it's like God has no name. I mean, you can't speak God's name. It's like, yes, that tracks. You know, if we think of whatever God is, some infinite, you can't talk about infinity because it's infinite. So anyway, that's where my mind goes with that stuff. And again, this is just me making some shit up about the Tao Te Ching. I have no idea. The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. What the fuck?
The nameless, and there's another character here, is often interpreted as, you can tell I'm, Jesus, I'm speaking too much French.
Yes, my son.
Is often interpreted as the pure, undifferentiated origin of the universe. The nameless is often interpreted as the pure, undifferentiated origin of the universe, while the named, and there's another set of characters for that, refers to the manifest world of forms and distinctions.
I hear absolute and relative there. Nameless, absolute. The named is the mother of all things. The mother of all things. So relative, anything. Anything. Yeah. So, I mean, I do suspect somebody in there is talking about some sort of consciousness that is, I don't want to say beyond the norm. It just like, I think they know what the fuck they're talking about somehow. I get that sense. They're talking about a possibility. They're talking about what is, it seems to me.
Hmm. The term name can mean a literal name or a conceptual label. Some translators emphasize the ineffability of the ultimate reality, Tao, suggesting that any attempt to define it limits its true nature.
You can't limit a true nature.
Well, not you can't, but you can talk about it in a limited way and thus not talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about it is a limitation, but it doesn't. I think whoever I'm picking apart that translation note there, which is
Yeah.
somebody's saying it limits the true nature. No, you can't limit the true nature of something. 'Cause you can talk about it, and the talking is a limitation, but it's not, and it's never the thing anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. So then sometimes
Well,
people would think, oh, my true nature is limited. No, it's not, because it can't be.
I don't know if GPT really gets that or not. I don't chat
I
GPT
doubt it.
really
I
gets
mean,
that.
we just started right off with probably some shit that's way off the beam, and it's even worse because people might take take this a little seriously.
This isn't meant to be taken seriously?
I mean, not when I'm talking about this stuff. Hell no. Hell no. I mean, talking about what we're talking about here. Maybe some other ones, yeah, but I like it as more of an exercise for openness.
Hmm.
The
Therefore,
name.
free from. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
go. You go. Yeah, free from desire. You can see the hidden mystery. What the fuck? Why? That just hits me out of left field. Why the fuck are we talking about desire and you need to be free from desire? Or it doesn't say you need to. It says
It doesn't say
therefore.
you. Yeah, it says you can. Can. It's just possibility. So the named is the mother of all things. Well, apparently, if you get whatever's gotten to be gotten from the first four lines, then there is a natural consequence that if you are free from desire, then you can see the hidden mystery.
Yeah, and maybe I can make up some stuff about that.
Yeah.
Where say here's I'm gonna paint a picture here. It's like say, you know how in reality, your normal perceived reality, how committed you are to judge things as good and bad. You move toward pleasure and avoid pain.
That's the way.
Yeah. This is the
That is
way.
the way.
That is the way of mortals. Yeah, you know that world that we live in, like, and we take it for granted as real and all that shit, and how committed we are to seek pleasure and avoid pain. That is desire.
Yep.
The whole thing seems to be like in that sense is desire. So
Mm.
then, free from desire, it does seem to me the more I stop judging things, the more I am not pushed and pulled by needing or seeking pleasure and avoiding pain, I start to see what's actually here. And it does become mysterious. It's extremely mysterious. This reality that we live within, what the fuck is going on? Now, I don't know why they would call it a hidden mystery because it's not very fucking hidden, but it's hidden in
Mm.
plain sight as far as I could tell. It's right
Mm.
here. It's this right here now.
Well, then that very next line makes sense. With desire, you see only what is visibly real.
I don't know what they're saying again. I mean, well, maybe. I don't know. Again, just I have no idea. It's the word visibly real. You see what is visibly real.
Mm.
There's other shit that's like invisibly real, but visible as in you can't see it and yet it exists. It's like perhaps that which allows for your sight. You don't see that, you just see what you see, but what allows for the sight? Or like objects, going to principles, like objects are attracted to one another. We have gravity. You don't see the gravity, you see the results of the gravity. You don't see the gravity itself, nor can you go buy it somewhere. And even science makes that
Yeah.
up.
So maybe one is more seeing the context and one is seeing the content.
Yeah, or seeing what's really there versus seeing what's what's what we think is there but
Mm-hmm.
isn't somehow.
Yet mystery and reality emerge from the same source.
What the fuck source would that be? I don't know.
I think they're talking
Bad
about the
idea.
Tao,
Yeah.
the same source being the Tao being the absolute. Am I reading too much into that?
Well, no, I think they are talking about that too. It's just I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe I do in a sense, but it's like I've heard rumors. All relative existence is absolute at the same. So it's like, but again, I'm making shit up from stuff I do and applying it. Mystery and reality emerge from the same source. Okay, so if we were to really grasp what's being said here, we'd have to know what reality is, I think would be useful. And we need to know what the fuck they're saying when they say mystery. Because, again, it's a word, it's a translation. What do they mean? We think we know what they mean when they say mystery, but do we really? I doubt it.
The distinction between mystery and manifestations, which I think is standing for reality here, involves seeing the deeper hidden aspects of reality versus the tangible visible aspects. Translators may differ on how to express the relationship between these two aspects and whether they view them as fundamentally the same or as distinct but interconnected.
What? What the fuck they just say? You know, quick
Oh,
aside.
yeah.
while while you were reading, it also occurred to me that likely there's a high likelihood,
Mm,
I bet, extremely likely that anybody who has translated this and
yeah.
the people who are the translators and who are quibbling amongst themselves about the different meanings of the language and all the bullshit that they're probably doing with this, I bet none of them have had enlightenment experience. Probably zero. Which is to say, none of them are directly conscious of one, their nature, which I think would make a huge fucking difference in how they approach this, and the nature of reality, the nature of another, the nature of life. Like, they're probably not in touch with this Tao. For real.
Mm.
They probably have concepts about it. They probably are well read and well versed in language. I'm certain of that. But and I am certain that their consciousness of these things probably isn't there. I'd put money on that. So when people quibble like that or have these arguments, I bet it's a conceptual clusterfuck, would be my take. Like people that are intellectual, highly intellectual, smart perhaps, but not conscious. And they get into these worlds of this is what it is and and this is what's meant when you probably don't know.
Well, I got a challenge for you.
Good.
Start off with the Tao is the absolute.
You see now disclaimer, I worry
just
right
start off with
away.
that.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And then wait, what's your disclaimer?
Um, we're making shit up here.
Yeah, perfect. So start off with that. Make shit up. Because well, okay. So don't start off with that. What value do you see in this poem?
Oh, I mean, to me, it triggers something. It's
Ah,
it's question. I'm like, huh? Interesting. I apply it to my experience of things or what I consider to be most real, and I go, I think they're onto something. I think
mm.
they're trying to share something.
So, and you think it's probably something that's pretty profound.
Yeah.
What's being communicated here?
Yeah, and it's not easily accessible. And so
Mm-hmm.
to me, it strikes me as, oh, there's like a little glimmer of, like, oh, somebody knows a little something, okay, about reality, about what's going on here.
If you had to rewrite this poem
Oh, God.
in your own words
Oh, God.
to talk about
All right.
what it's talking about, what you think it's talking about, what would you say?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, we haven't gotten to him yet. That comes later.
I would reject. I mean, I'm right away. I'm like, no, because I'm not gonna write something pretty. You know, like if it's supposed to be a poem, I'm gonna fail at that. It's gonna be. I. There are many ways, but I think the poem is good in the sense that it is poetic, and so
Hmm.
it leaves room for this. Huh? There's like a little for me. There's a little what? Huh? They're talking about. I think they're talking about something, and it's like this kind of experience, and I think that's good because I can't easily pin down what they're saying. I bet in this case, kind of like Rumi
Hmm.
when he's like, I'm paraphrasing, like outside the garden of good and bad, outside the
Outside the world or the troubles of good and evil, there's a garden. I'll meet you there. I think
yeah.
it's
Or I
something like
think he
that.
says there's a field. I'll meet you there. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, he knows. Like there's, and that's poetic. It's nice. Like, huh? There's something to be gleaned from that. Some wisdom, perhaps. And so I appreciate those things. If I was to rewrite this poem,
Yeah. Go for it. Take a crack at it. What could it hurt?
we don't know. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. You can't talk about the absolute because
I,
you can't.
you can't talk about the absolute. There we go.
I mean, you can, but you're going to be fucking wrong. The name that can be named is not the eternal name.
I think that's the second line. You
Line one.
can, but you're gonna be fucking wrong.
There we
The
go.
the Tao. I should write this shit down. Hold on. I'm gonna. The absolute.
Oh God.
Wait. Can I change? I want
Yeah,
to change the first line. I'm gonna
sure.
say
Let's do it.
the truth that can be talked about. Can I say ain't?
Yeah, ain't.
Ain't the eternal truth. Ain't the absolute truth.
Yeah. You can talk about it, but you're gonna be fucking wrong. Line two.
Yeah. You you can talk about it, but you're gonna fuck it up.
Sure.
But you're gonna be fucking wrong.
No. Yeah, it's gotta be. Yeah, you can talk about it, but it's fucking wrong.
But but you're fucking wrong.
The
The
nameless
truth.
is um.
Yeah.
The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. If you can talk about it, it exists.
Ah.
Well, and if you can also talk about stuff that doesn't exist, but you're not talking about anything.
If you can talk about it, it ain't the absolute.
Well, that doesn't work either because the absolute is paradoxical.
Oh shit. Wait, what's the third line?
The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. Oh, the
What is it?
nameless. Jesus Christ. The shit you can't talk about is
Uh-huh.
actually what's here. It was actually real. Oh,
But you can't talk about.
the shit you can't talk about is the source of everything. See, but then again, I don't know if that's actually true. I mean, I hear tell, and I could see that. It's what's really going on.
The shit you
Before, like,
can't talk about is what's really going on.
yeah,
It's what's actually here, what's really going on.
what's really going on,
It's what's really going on.
or actually here.
Poets in the making. The named is the mother of all things. We could consolidate several lines into one.
If it exists, you can talk about it. No, you see, I don't know. The named is the mother of all things. Oh God.
I like it so far. Maybe that's enough.
Maybe.
The truth that the truth that can be talked about ain't the absolute truth. You can't talk about it, but you can talk about it, but you're fucking wrong. The shit you can't talk about is what's really going on.
Yeah.
But, okay, I see why they have a book and we don't.
Yeah. 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 Sign us up, Penguin House. Random House Penguin. Fuck it. Audible. You there? Therefore, free from desire, you can see. Yeah. So yeah.
So, can I take a crack at it? My take on it?
Yeah.
I think someone someone called the Tao is the absolute,
Yeah.
and
Who wrote that? Who wrote the
no
Tao?
one really knows. No one really knows.
See?
Some guy named Lao Tzu, but no one knows if that was real or not.
Okay.
Nobody knows if it's all the same person, and who knows. But somebody was conscious. Somebody knew. Somebody
Seems.
pierced pretty deeply
Yeah.
into the very nature of things, and also got that there's a big difference between being pushed and pulled around by desire and fear, and being free from that and sort of beholding the mystery of existence.
Yeah. And my
And
next. Oh, go ahead.
and then this person also recognized that those two, the dichotomy between, self-survival and enlightenment is also an illusion. It's the two things are not separable. They arise from the same absolute.
Yeah. They're the same source or
And
the same what
you
is.
can, and then this source is called darkness. Darkness within darkness. The gateway to all understanding is there's no end. There's
Yeah.
no end. You can go deeper and deeper and contemplate more and more forever and ever. And amen. And good job. Keep going.
Yeah.
Like you.
My next question is, what the fuck do they mean by darkness? The source is called darkness. What's the fucking what? And they say it 3 times. Darkness within darkness. I mean, it doesn't seem very dark.
No.
See, so right away, wait a minute. It's another. That's the next trigger word for me is darkness.
The phrase darkness within darkness can also be mystery of mysteries. The mystery of mysteries.
Yeah.
Underscores the infinite depth and subtlety of the Tao. I don't know how subtle it is.
Right. Again, that sounds like some dude conceptually jerking off, like, oh, the infinite depth and wisdom and subtlety of the Tao. Blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up. Also, unsubtle things. If
Like
it's
Brendan.
yeah, I'm not very subtle. I'm blunt. It's a deal with extreme violence and rape. If
Uh,
it's all things, come on, you got to include the shit with the good stuff.
hmm.
Just thinking.
Okay. Well,
Mystery and reality emerge from the same source. That's the line before. This source is called darkness. Mystery and reality emerge from the same source. Again, yeah, for me, it's just, huh. Well, then what source is that? Like it leaves that open, you know? And
yeah.
what was the purpose of writing the Tao Te Ching? Like, what was
There's
the
a
function of
legend about that.
it? Okay.
There's a legend that if I, God, I can't remember.
On my alarm, that's alarm going off.
Lao
Go
Tzu
ahead.
was like the sage, and he was asked by a king or an emperor or something to write down all of his poems before he died or something like that. And he was like, all right. And he wrote down a bunch of stuff for some emperor just asked him like, please share
Yeah.
your wisdom, and he went ahead and did it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And as you were talking, it occurred to me, or was thinking about poetry. It seems like for talking about stuff like this, I think probably poetry is a better way to go in a sense that it leaves a mystery
Mm,
because you can't take it literally. It speaks in metaphor, it speaks in different, it's like it uses language to paint a picture.
mm.
And I think that's better than like if we were to take that literally, which I mean I try to apply it to my experience and see like is there a correlation or what are they talking about? But that's just because I'm trained in contemplation or whatever, trained in a certain way of considering things. But when people are literal about the truth or the absolute truth, then people think that it's really easy, I think much easier to get lost in, oh, the language is the thing when it never is.
What's the danger level of reading this book and getting all sorts of confused and
Oh,
off
imminent.
imminent danger? Just as soon as you open the book, incoming.
Incoming. I think in the case of like shit like that, absolute, it's imminent no matter what it is. It's just fucked from the beginning. I don't know. That's just me. Like Zen, they talk in cryptic ways, but as far as I can tell, Zen people still buy into it like a fucking religion, and then they go off the same thing. And Zen even has, I'm parroting Peter a little bit, but he's like, yeah, in Zen they have burned the Buddha. Like at
Mm-hmm.
least they tried to put it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he says nobody fucking does. What Zen person? Are you a Zen person and you still wear those fucking robes and shit and think that robes mean something? And keeping your space clean means something important and you're supposed to keep your space clean? Just maybe there's a functional reason to wear the robes and a functional reason to sit a certain way and to put your tongue in your mouth and take certain postures. Like that's all good. Perhaps it serves a function, but I think people have got that lost with some meaning. Like I don't know. You ever see Zen monks on the street? You know them
Not
because
too often.
they got those fucking robes on and they shave their heads. But like in terms of enlightenment, enlightenment doesn't give a fuck whether you got robes, shaved head, not shaved head, doesn't matter. But people buy it anyway. Yeah, so danger level imminent. No matter what it is. You read Ralston's books, it's even worse.
Mm.
Maybe. No, it's not as bad because I think he is radically like it's clear from the get-go, do not believe any of this shit. It will not do you any good.
but but buy several copies.
Yeah,
Give them
but
to your
buy a bunch
friends.
of these books, and it's totally useless, no value. We say that in the ENB workshop. Come to a workshop, by the way. Um, we go into a whole use and value thing, right? Like, if you're looking for value, you're looking in the wrong place. That's essentially the message. Do not do this work trying to get value. So you're like, why the fuck am I here? Exactly. I know.
Well, you're here now.
If you want a value, you're here now with us. Leave us a comment. Bunch of comments. Go to war in the comments. Let's fucking blow it up. um
Well, ain't that the same? Free from desire, one realizes the mystery,
yeah, see, there
like
you
in the
go.
poem.
There you go. Perfect. Tao Te Ching. No value. No good and bad. Desire one thing over another. So now what are you left with? You're left with a really boring experience, but you probably don't even like that. That's again the same, it's a negative. No, free from desire. You see, that's great. I mean, I think that's beautiful. It gives me, huh? Oh yeah. Yeah. Free from desire. Then you can see the mystery. And then I would take it a step further. It's like, then solve the mystery.
Oh, goodness.
See, like you and I do that. Solved a couple of those mysteries. It's fucking great. See? Ooh, that's good, right? It's worth it in my mind.
The Tao Te Ching.
And then the last line in this one, the darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. The gateway. The mystery is the gateway. I don't know. I take that, then walk through the fucking gate. Let's go. They're saying that's the gateway. That's not where you stop. That's where you go, oh, there's a fucking gate here. Let's go in there. Find out what's going on. Yeah.
So what's the gateway?
Well, what do they mean when they say the gateway?
Nah, what is the gateway?
Oh, to this kind of understanding? It's this present moment is it. Right here where you don't know what the fuck's going on is the gateway. You know, the real stuff. So, how do you get, okay, right? Maybe that's what it is. That's interesting. Like, I don't know. I'm just making some shit up now, just thinking about like, we do workshops here, of course, come to a workshop, but like contemplation intensive. The value, maybe one of the values of the facilitator person is it's not that we tell you, we don't give you the answers, but we get you to the motherfucking gate quickly. We get you to the place, the jump off point. Maybe that's what it is. It just occurred to me that a huge part of what I do when I'm doing that shit is getting people to the place where they can question. And then after that, they're on their own because they're always on their own after that. I can only push them to the edge, to the brink. They've got to leap. Always. It's never, I don't have any control over whether they can leap or make a breakthrough or not. And so, yeah, it occurred to me, oh, yeah, that's like the function of a facilitator in this work, consciousness work. Like get people to the place where they can take a fucking look for once, for real. So you say, what is the gateway? It's like, imagine, free from desire, no good, no bad, no meaning. What's here? You're left with a meaningless perceptive experience that you don't understand. You know, like, oh, I see something. Do I know what it is? No. Huh. There's the gateway. You don't even know if there's time there because, again, time is like another known thing, right? What's time? Time. We made that the fuck up. past and future, concepts, all concepts. They don't exist either. Okay, well, what's here then? Well, I don't know. Just something's here. Yeah, what is that? Huh. And that's the gateway. Whether you're in a fucking ashram or whether you're masturbating in a gutter somewhere.
Also poetic.
Yeah. Or feeding 1,000 children that are starving, whatever. Interesting. I mean, as we go, it's yeah, sort of interesting. Interesting. I suspect it'll more of these will become interesting because I like when I read stuff by Jesus. Okay, I never read anything from Jesus. Every so often.
Mostly when I put something in front of you.
Yeah. Because I don't read it. I just like I've heard shit from somewhere else, and I'm like, that motherfucker, he knows. He knows. I mean, he was yeah. There you go. Yeah, do that. That's good. Make a religion about it? No. It's just me.
So how's this experiment working out for you?
Know. It's fun for me. How is
Yeah.
it for you? I feel like I've been talking a lot. Do you have any parting words or words of?
It seemed to me like as we went, your willingness to play with the poem it's good. I mean, if the guy is writing from a conscious place, and then you approach it openly, probably it is an opening experience. Maybe it's more about the experience of reading the thing with that sense of wonder and openness, more than like here's the answer, this is what this means.
Yeah, for me, it's very much like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a value.
Mm-hmm.
Something like
Come to a workshop.
that. You heard it. I didn't say it. I didn't say it this time. He said it. You should though.
Yeah. Do you ever read religious texts during workshops?
Fuck no. Oh, let me see. Do we ever read? No. No. You don't think so?
I've heard Peter take out a little Zen book and read a few anecdotes here and there.
We do that, but they're not religious. They're just stories.
Yeah.
So I don't. It may be So yeah, that's where it's gray. But we're not. We're very much no religion. It's just during a contemplation intensive, we use the stories as they serve a functional purpose. Like, hey, have a story, relax your mind, open some things up, have some what? Like little things for that. But we're not telling people. There's no telling people how to live or any shit like that. Just here, have a little thing from the Zen, from people who are working on these deep questions. Here's some of the shit, from that world. So it also serves a function. People don't feel so alone. Like other people have been struggling with this. And then some of the stories are like, what? So yeah, we do read those, it's true. But very much in a not for religious purposes, and not really of religion, although they are Zen stories, but it's more a collection of stories. It's not like a here, believe in this. So yeah, I hear that.
Rock and roll.
Sweet. Well, thanks, man.
Thank you.
It. You've heard it here first. Heard this here first. I don't know why I laugh at that because I don't even really know what I'm saying when I say it, but I think it's funny.
It is factual. It is true.
It's the truth.
Mhm.
Yeah. So join us. Come to a workshop. Go to battle in the comments. Fucking let's have it. And we'll catch you later. John did this. He says bye. Bye.